Welcome to another episode of Live with KB podcast. Today we got a very special guest, my guy Rob, the man in the city right now, training people, getting everybody in shape.
Full quarter pressing, baby.
Yes, sir. So we're gonna get more of his life story, how he even got to Nashville, and how he got into his fitness journeys, everything he's also been through in the past as well. So welcome to another Live with KB podcast. Rob, how you doing today, man?
Man, I'm great. I'm great. Every day is great for me. I done graduated from good. We great every day.
I heard that, man. So I know a lot of people know you. You know, you training people, you got clients, and also you also work with youth in the past as well. But we're gonna get the background story of
Gotcha.
Rob, who you are as the guy, how you even got here in Nashville, so to speak. So where are you originally from?
Man, I was born in Chrysler, Arkansas. Small town at the bottom of Arkansas, close to the Louisiana borderline. But I was raised in Pine Bluff, Arkansas.
Okay, gotcha. How was your early childhood?
Uh, Back and forth. I was with my mom for a while. Then I went to my grandma. I was back and forth with my mom and my grandma for a while. Finally got actually stable, probably around middle school, with my mom all the way.
Gotcha. What high school did you attend? Or you say you grew up in Pine
Yeah,
Bluff?
I attended Pine Bluff High School.
Pine Bluff High School. Did you go to college on?
Yeah, I went to several colleges, man. My first college was D2, another small town at the bottom of Arkansas, University of Arkansas at Monticello, where I had a football scholarship, but I ended up getting into trouble and I got banned. So I ended up transferring to back home in Pine Bluff, a smaller college, like a 2-year college, Southeast Arkansas College. I did like 2 semesters there.
Okay.
And then I went to UAPB, the HBCU. I did a semester there. Then I ended up transferring to Euler in Little Rock. That's why I actually graduated from with my bachelor's.
Okay.
And then I did my master's. I started at Arkansas University when I first came to Nashville. But that school ended up shutting down, and we had to pick a school to transfer to, which was South. I transferred to South University, uh, out of Savannah, Georgia, and that's where I attained my master's.
Gotcha. Did you have role models growing up? If so,
As far as role models, man, I'd say my parents. I tell people all the time, you don't physically actually have to have a person present in your life to be your role model. Because I'm gonna say my pops too, even though it was a lot of dark years, between him and my mom, them most definitely was my role model.
all right, getting into your fitness journey, what started this whole fitness journey make you even care about your body? I mean, it's one thing for people to do it, but you take it to another level. So
Right.
You can start that mindset.
Being in sports, just growing up, and I want to say we actually started like lifting weights when I got to high school. I still wasn't new to it because the younger age, seeing my pops as a bodybuilder, I was already introduced to it physically.
So you're saying that as a kid?
Yeah, I seen it as a kid, and then when it got to the point of me being all the way involved in sports and getting up into high school where you had to work out and stuff because now you compete for positions, then it just grew all the way down.
And now working out is one thing, but actually training clients and being able to have people depend on you, to hold them account.
Right.
How did you transition into that? So to speak?
Just being a leader, I've always been a leader. Like growing up, even as kids, I was always like being with the cousins and stuff, just being followed. So being a leader and just having that heart to help people, like I'm a problem solver. Like I always want to be the one to solve problems. So as far as transitioning to fitness, the times I was working out, if I'm doing my workout and I glance over and I see somebody doing a workout and they struggling or they doing it wrong, then I'll step over there and assist if they're open to it.
Right.
A lot of people not open to it, but the more I did it, and the more I saw that people was open to it, it was like, this is something I like doing. I like training, I like leading, and I like helping people.
Yeah. How would you compare, physical and mental health? A lot of people like to compare both of them, like they work together.
Right.
So when you're paying, how do you think they play off of each other? Somebody's physical, mental health. If somebody's lacking something physically affected mentally, like how would you correlate those?
Well, I think it's your mental first. It's whatever you put your mind to do. If you want to lose weight, then you know what you got to do physically to lose weight. You know what I'm saying? If you want to build muscle, if you want to gain weight, you know what you got to do physically to reach your goals, if you ain't got it in your mental, you're not gonna do it at all. You tell yourself what to do, what you want to do, but a lot of people make excuses.
All right, going from your fitness journey to what you also used to do back in the day as well. You started out working with youth. What inspired you? How'd you even get started working with youth back
In college, when I was getting my bachelor's, man, I actually started working with youth as part time. I just needed a job. Yeah, I just needed a gig. Like I didn't even know what I was getting into. I actually started in the mental health field.
then? Okay.
I started in the mental health field, and I did that for a little while. And I ended up, I was new to the field, so I didn't know I was. I actually got fired in the mental health field, man. A kid told me they was gonna hit me. And I told him, okay, I'm gonna hit your ass back. And like me being new to the field, I didn't know that was wrong. So, but I started in the mental health field, and when I got fired from that, I ended up looking on the deeds, and I applied for the juvenile in Little Rock, and I started working there. And what grew on to me, man, I actually saw the relations with the kids. Like I related in a lot of ways, especially behavioral problems. Me growing up getting in trouble and stuff like that. So it was one of them things where, like I told you previously, I always had the leadership mentality. So I just felt the need that they actually need, a lot of them just need mentors. You know what I'm saying? So I stayed working in the field. I was part time. I eventually went full time, and I finished my degree. And it was like, forget the degree. Like I was really working my way up the chain of command in that field. So I stuck with it.
Yeah, moving up the ladder, you kind of like, so why stop now?
I stuck with it, and I actually um, a lot of these group homes and juveniles nowadays, they have kind of like departed from the state and they let these private companies run. I was working for G4S then in Arkansas, and G4S had multiple facilities in different other states. So I graduated in May of 16. That same month, my old boss was like, "Hey, we got a facility in Nashville. They doing bad, short on staff. They need help." Asked me did I want to go. I'm like, "Yeah, I'm a country state Arkansas. I ain't really just never been nowhere, so I'm gonna take that opportunity." Yeah. So they sent like a couple of us up there, and man, I came up there, man. It was chaotic. It was like Mr. Clark going into that school of
Out of control.
yeah, out of control.
Right.
And in my head, I'm like, we ain't perfect, but we don't operate like this in Arkansas. You know what I'm saying? So when I came up there, me and the other two guys, like, we started like putting our foot down, going back to what we was trained in Arkansas. And the leadership up here, they saw that and they ended up offering me in a supervisor position. Now, honestly, I I uh I turned it down twice. They ended up talking me into it, and I went on and made that move. Like I said, I came in May, staying in the hotel 2, 3 months. I went back to Arkansas one time, and that was to clean my apartment out. I took the opportunity to get out of that environment that I had came from.
Okay, so you credit that for you being in Nashville right now.
Right.
So that job relocated you
Yeah.
to where you never look back and say Nashville.
Yeah.
I'm saying with the youth subject, a lot of times when we see youth going through what they're going through, it's easy to say, I was them. But we know as being grown and working with kids and whatnot that it starts at home.
Right.
How important do you think it is the structure at home, providing youth what they need before they go out of the field? How valuable is having structure at home for you to come up?
Man, it's very valuable, but I honestly, it's deeper than just home. I'm a sportsman, so everything is teamwork with me. It starts at home, but when they leave home, where they go? They go to school. If they get in trouble, they go into the court system. So you got three different partners right there. Let's teamwork together. Let's hold them accountable at home. Let's hold them accountable at school. Let's hold them accountable in the court system. But the thing is, everybody's not holding their weight. You might not hold them accountable at home, but then they go to school, the teachers, the principals, they gonna hold them accountable. Okay. Then when they get in trouble, they go in the court system. The court system might not be holding accountable either. Why? I just seen so many youth over time get slaps on the wrist. I just seen adolescents with murder charges get slapped on the wrist. Like, and they'll say it's not a slap on the wrist, but if you got a youth with a murder charge and you telling me he can go to a group home and do 4 to 6 months, that is a slap on the wrist, and that's not sending a great message. So at some point in time, in order to change that, we got to get everybody on the same page from home, school, the court system, and if they actually do have to go to a facility, them as well, along with DCS. But it's like everybody's against each other, everybody not on the same page. So
it's costing the youth that way, though, too.
yeah, most definitely is.
Have you learned anything from working in the juvenile field?
Man, I done learned a lot. The biggest thing I have learned, honestly, you can be great at something, but just because you're great at it don't mean that it's gonna last forever. The situation I went through, I just feel like my time was up because the way I operated, I don't think the state, I'm gonna say the state because I'm talking about DCS and I'm talking about I don't think they like the way I operate because I'm very passionate about it. So the way I operate is strict, tough love. I don't want you to come back. But the way they operate, the way they try to throw in that terminology therapeutic and the way they reward negative behavior and certain consequences that I give they didn't like, y'all setting them up. You know what I'm saying? So what I learned that I can continue to help you, but I'm gonna help them in my way. I don't have to work inside of the facility to help them.
Yeah. Because then you got to work under their policies and rules. If they're not meeting you, then that's just
Because it's a business, man. Think about it. If we could save every kid and them kids don't come back, it's an empty facility. Now, of course, you got the upcoming generation, but each generation that come, if we save them all and they did come back, like at some point in time, the money is gonna be slow for that business.
It make you really want to question what's the objective,
Right.
Like, are we saving them or are we just putting them through this little slow cycle?
Right.
Possibility of y'all can stay or come back.
Right.
If you say it, everybody would say it's empty. Why would you bet on a whole generation to come through it?
Exactly.
But like I said, it's money at the end of the day. That's a different combo.
Right.
They keep calls from those states. And speaking on that, man, what challenges personally did you go through? Like I said, I know you mentioned some, but what challenges off the top of your head would you say you went through while you were working with you?
No balance. No balance. No support. I always ran operations, so it was always a head bump between operation and the clinical side, the therapist and everything. Like, uh, they tried to give off like as if I wasn't therapeutic. I was, but I just know how to balance it, and I know how to keep the youth from manipulating. Y'all don't. Y'all pull them in the office, do all this sweet talking and all of that. Well, when they come over here on this side of the fence, if you do wrong, you're gonna get held accountable. You know what I'm saying? If you get written up or whatever it is, you're gonna get held accountable. If you become physical with the staff, you're gonna get held accountable. They didn't like certain consequences. So it was a battle. It's like I really love doing it. I'm really passionate about this, but I battled a lot throughout the year, like if I wanted to actually continue to do that. But it was like, nah, I'm not gonna let this other side keep me from doing something that I love.
Yeah. What advice would you give to the youth that find themselves in that point of life where they're still young, right? They might be going through trouble. I got caught, not got caught, but they're going through stuff, whether it's at home, around the streets, or whatever, but they still have a chance to get it right before they reach the goal.
Right.
In that kid stage, you have time to mess up. And you may get, like you said, slap on the wrist, but you become grown, you get a help accountable for everything. So what advice would you give youth that still are in that youth stage that can still get it right? What advice would you give to them?
They need to associate themselves with more positive people. Disassociate themselves with people that are friends or peers that don't want change. The ones that's constantly getting in trouble. The ones that's doing drugs. The ones that's drinking. Like, put yourself with somebody that can help you grow. That can push you. That can hold you accountable. And just having that leadership, that leader mentality in general. Don't be a follower. A lot of these kids are followers. Like, it's so bad that you can get on TikTok and follow a person 10 states away. You just want to do what that person doing, and everybody don't get away with everything. So you want to follow something you done seen, and now you done got caught up.
Mm-hmm. And you probably seen it firsthand working with them. I mean, they some kids even tell you, right? I'm just following what they do, or you just see you literally see a kid making everybody else do something because he know he can manipulate them. They just sitting there like, I mean, I'm just doing it because just because. Going off of that, talking about positive role models. What advice would you give adults who find themselves in the lives of some of these kids? What advice would you give to some of the adults that like, hey, if you need was to steer these kids in the right direction, this is how you should do it, how you should go about it.
Well, the first advice I would give, don't even go apply if it's just for money. Don't go apply to work with them kids if it's just for money because it's bigger than that. You gotta have some type of passion. And nowadays, like a lot of people that I work with, or that worked under me, not even in the field no more. So now it's like kids and kids now because you got adults nowadays that are real, they friends with the kids. You got adults that's bringing in stuff in the facilities. You got adults that don't hold them accountable. So my advice with them, don't apply to their job just for money. You know what I'm saying? Like, think about your kids. Like, if you wouldn't want nobody leading your kids in the wrong direction, why you want to go to a facility and lead somebody else's kids in the wrong direction?
How has working with youth tied into like your fitness journey that you're on now? Or it's been on? If they do they kind of tie in together a little bit, or
Yeah, sports in general. I feel like fitness and sports, working out, like it really plays a key role with helping kids, like even growing up. I got in trouble from time to time, but at the end of the day, uh, it's one of those things that sports kind of like kept it occupied us. It occupied us. It occupied us from being around a lot of things. Like I talk about it all the time. Like my day one, he served his second prison term, and me, if you my brother, I'm gonna ride with you regardless. But I always refer back to when I first was going to high school. We was in our high school started at 10th grade. But we was in ninth grade and we used to have to get on the bus every day to go to high school to start practicing at the high school. Well, man, a lot of things he was getting into, a lot of trouble, a lot of fighting, and all of that. He was getting into those situations, but I wasn't around because I was in sports. I was working out. I was already gone. And I think about if I wasn't doing sports, if I wasn't working out, I would have been right there with him. I would have been right there with him.
what's some of the things that you see in today's society that you think could use some improvement? With young people, they're so easy to manipulate. Right? What's some things that you kind of see in today's society that needs improvement, whether it be the dating scene, respect for others, the ability to listen. What's some things that you kind of touch on that you may think need improve on the everyday life for some of these youth?
You most definitely need more mentors. You have a select few of mentors out here, and you have a lot that want to be mentors, but then they don't have the patience or they don't have the confidence because they feel like it's a waste of time. They feel like the youth ain't gonna listen. But I feel like if you get enough, if you get enough, it takes a village. So you have to get enough. You can't have a mentor program over here, mentor pro, two, three mentor program. That's not enough. You literally need a lot. You need a lot. Like if you really want to save these kids, like it takes all of us. But we, as adults, you can't even get everybody on the same page. You know what I'm saying? You can't even get everybody to work together. So as an adult, of course, what you think is going to transpire to the kids?
All right, well, transition from working with youth, your fitness journey. I want to touch on some of your opinions on the real world.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna ask you some questions. What in today's society, how do you view the mindset of most women in the dating world in today's society? Completely six millions.
Man, it's crazy you brought that up because I be on Instagram. I'm hard on the men, man. Masculinity is that's it. Like a lot of women feel like they gotta play their role. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm rocking with them. Like for years, I was always in big debates with women, trying to take up for the men. But the past couple years, man, they been making me look bad. I'm not taking up for y'all no more. You know what I'm saying? Men don't care about their health. They not leading a relationship like this. And I'm not saying women are perfect, but at the end of the day, when you take it back to the man, we're supposed to lead, We're the ones that's supposed to go out and hunt and get the food and stuff like that. But now you got the women, they got the mindset that they gotta do it because there ain't enough men doing it, you feel what I'm saying? And it's to the point that I run into certain women, and I know I'm a man. I know I'm a big alpha man. I know I'm a lead, but they so immune to the mediocre. It's like they come in and it's like it's a battle. You know what I'm saying? Well, if I'm physically showing you that I'm the type of man that you won't. I'm not gonna force it. You feel what I'm saying? Like if you're not properly healed, you know what I'm saying, that you still immune to the past or you can't get over the past that is causing you to want to come in and bump heads with me. You want to go, I'm not gonna compete with you on who's gonna lead this relationship. Cause what I say is what I say, you know what I'm saying? So that's their mindset. They feel like they have to be in the masculine role. Think about it. It's all over. You got more women truck drivers. It's man, you got more women in the gym than men. I train more women. I got two males now. It's at the point where I was promoting like a month straight. Like I need more men. I'll give you a month free.
Come
It's
on,
like
man.
so.
Yeah. So you feel like that has changed the mindset, which controls everything. So
Right.
you're saying the mindset of women changing has literally changed the dating scene because now they're having to take on a role which previously was taken over before.
Right.
And that's really changed everything.
Yep.
On a more personal level, what are you looking for in a woman if you had, if you wanted to settle down? What are you looking for? Person.
Most definitely, man. We gotta be compatible. We gotta be compatible. She got to be in the gym with me. You know, she got to eat. I'm a vegan. I don't even eat meat, and I'm not saying I got to date a woman that has to be a vegan as well. But for the most part, you most definitely got to eat healthy. I'm an energy person. So what I look like dating somebody who got a complete different energy than me. You know what I'm saying? Same page. He ain't got to be on straight. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna leave regardless. She got to be able to follow and trust me. You feel what I'm saying? And be my love language and be my love language. I'm a simple person. I'm not asking for too much. So those few little things right there, like, will be the best ever.
Sounds good, man. How long you been a vegan?
Going on 2 years.
So what made you start doing that?
Man, honestly, man, growing up, I never was one of those kids that like to drink sodas, eat candy and stuff like that. I mean, I did from time to time, but I was never one of the ones that, boom, let's go to the store and buy candy and stuff like that. And then just as you grow and you continue to research and you continue to learn and you see the things they're putting in these foods. You look at the ingredients, these words we can't even pronounce, it just kind of stuck to me like, I'm not rocking with that. You feel what I'm saying? So I was a pescatarian for years. I played around with vegetarian. I played around with vegan. And then it got to the point where I said, I'm going to go 100% vegan. And I didn't really have to like prep myself for it. I could go cold turkey. Mental is a mind thing, so I'm very strong minded. So, yeah, and I did it and been rocking it out ever since. And I love it.
Has it affected like your workout performance at all? 'Cause some people, especially men, they feel like if you go vegan, first thing they think about is strength. You must.
Now, I can't say in the beginning I went cold turkey, so I didn't know everything. So I did feel it was like, man, I'm gonna go back to start. I'm like, I think I got weak in the gym, but when you go vegan, you got to make sure you getting all your nutrients and stuff that you're supposed to. Because honestly, a lot of like the B12 and stuff, you can't get it out you get it out the meat. Well, if you take the meats away, now you're not getting it. So let me find some alternatives that I can make sure that I'm getting those things, protein and stuff like that. So once I learned it, like I said, I went cold turkey, so I was learning on the go. Once I started learning it and just being creative with different meal preps and plans and stuff like that, man, it's go time now, So I feel great.
And I feel like I don't eat pork and beef. I still got to keep my chicken. I'll be damned if I go to a barbecue or a cookout.
Right.
I can't eat what's on that grill. Yeah. So I still keep that around the fish and turkey. But now I was interested. That's the first thing you hear about, especially like I said, when it comes to men. Women, I feel like it's easier for them to go vegan, but most of the time we talk about men, that's the first thing that's their excuse to not want to do it because of the performance in the gym. What are some of your thoughts on the things that impact our lives on a day-to-day basis? Whether it be mental, physical health, dietary mindset.
I'm gonna blame everything on the food.
Okay.
They got so many chemicals in the food, man. It throws a chemical imbalance within the humans. Like honestly, what you eat, it affects your mental. You got to think about it. Just experiment yourself and go mix some chemicals together. You can do some cleaning chemicals. Go mix them together and see what it do and come back and talk to me. Well, think about it. You can look on back of those bottles, those chemicals. You can see some of the same ingredients and chemicals in the food. So think about the effect that it has in people who constantly eat it day by day, day by day. It's one of them things like the government saying like, "Oh, I'm not gonna kill you now, but it's coming later. I need you right now because I know you're gonna keep buying this product,
Right.
and we're gonna keep getting our money." But that's where it starts at. Like people really don't believe that, you know what I'm saying? I mean, it's more to it, but you eat every day. You put them chemicals in your body every day. It's doing something to your body. It's doing something to your brain daily. Day by day, you killing yourself. It gets to the point where it's like it's taking control of your mind. People get to the point where they can't even control their actions, you know. So
And they wonder who this coming from.
where is it
The
coming
first
from?
thing they saying is the person is crazy. You gonna put them on some medicine the whole time. If you fix your diet, that could help alter the kind of what you're going through.
Right. Like I said, other things as well, but if you really want to just get deep into it, I'm gonna say that, you know, despite where you grew up, despite the environment, at the end of the day, everybody eating. You know, everybody eating. So if your parents didn't raise you right, they was eating them same chemicals. If their parents didn't raise them right, they was eating them same chemicals. So it's getting passed down. It started in the food. You feel what I'm saying? You can say this and that, but I feel that's where it started. And a lot of people, a lot of people will look at this podcast and be like, "Is he serious?" Man, I ain't here to go back and forth. It's like it's simple. It's right there. It's right there. But see, a lot of our people are just they blind. They blind. Like you know, you can get real deep into a lot of things in this world, and people still won't believe it. You know, they gonna believe what they want to believe, but it is what it is. You know, to each his own.
Any last advice to the youth out there that may be watching this? Like you say, going through those trials and tribulations. What's some last advice from Rob, man, that you kind of tell them as they go on their journey through life?
Just like I previously said, man, be a leader. Be a leader. Do not be a follower. You know what I'm saying? That's where a lot of mistakes are made by following the wrong people, following the wrong crowd. Be a leader. Be a leader. And surround yourself around other leaders. Even surround yourself around other leaders that's on another level. That on a level. I was always taught to sit at a table with people above you because that's the direction you want to go.
Keep on up.
That's the direction you want to go, you know. So them youth, y'all need to learn to lead and not be a follower. And sometimes it's lonely at the top. It's lonely at the top. So if you had to be that lonely leader, be that lonely leader. It ain't nothing wrong with that's where you become your strongest. When you solo, you're more peaceful. You know, you can think more, you can manifest more, you can game plan more. So if you have to be a lonely leader, be a lonely leader. And other than that, surround yourself around other leaders.
Any advice to people who, this is the start of the new year, gyms are packed. Any advice to people who have not yet to get on this fitness journey or who are on it? Because we always see people who start the year off
Right.
right. Soon as that sun come out about March, April, May, they ain't nowhere to be found. So what advice can you give people who haven't started yet and need to start or on that journey for the first time but need to keep being productive and keep staying on that right track?
Okay. So first I'm gonna tell you I'm accepting new clients. Accepting new clients. So sometimes you need that push. You need that push. You need that person that's gonna motivate you. And even if you are hesitant to come by yourself, bring your accountability partner. Sometimes it'll be the biggest thing when you got somebody beside you that know y'all both need that fitness journey. Bring somebody with you. But the biggest thing I tell people is once you start, you gotta keep going because you have people out, like you said, every year, January, they start and they'll stop by April. So whatever process you went through that made you give up, the pain, the hurt, whatever you went through, you're gonna continue to go through that same process until you continue to follow through that journey to get your body used to it. You can start in January, you can stop in April. Then you're gonna turn around and you're gonna do the same process again. So you're gonna go through the same pain, you're gonna go through the same exhaustion, you're gonna keep doing it year by year, everything. So at some point in time, you just gotta keep going. I always tell people I'd rather you slow down than stop completely. So if you start in January, you start 3, 4 days, and it just get to the point you just really hurting your body and everything, and you get to April, you say I'm gonna quit. No, don't quit. If you was doing 3, 4 days, knock it down to 1 or 2 days, but keep the process going. Keep the process going.
Yeah, I always got that 1 week rule. Like if you stop for a whole week, it's hard. A couple of days is, 2, 3 days, you find yourself getting back in the groove again. But
Right.
you take a whole week off, very few people can start back then next week or 2 weeks after, and
Right.
get themselves back to the groove.
And then a lot of time, man, people, a lot of beginners go in the gym, they don't know what to do. So get you a trainer, and if you can't afford a personal trainer 1-on-one, a lot of it's a group session. Group sessions are cheaper, and they're beginner friendly. Like I said, I'm accepting new clients, but I trained at the lab, training studios in Antioch, privately owned, black owned. They got a lot going. The owners, Harold and Courtney, like they most definitely elevate. They got a new partnership. Gonna have different type of treatment for the body, red light therapy, sauna rooms, massage. They got all that in there. They run a lot of group class. If you can't afford to train 1-on-one, you can go on the website, and they run a lot of. You can go to their Instagram, go on the website, and see the different packages where you can come in and start the group training. Do the group, get your body used to it. Then if you eventually want to transition over to a trainer, there's multiple trainers in there. So that's why I was talking about earlier when it comes to the mental, like you gotta want to do it. You gotta want to do it. I don't care about how much pain or nothing. You gotta want to do it. Like, and I'm so sick of people using that terminology, depressed. It was like at one point in time, depression. The word depression was like a trending topic.
Yeah, it was.
It's like it popped. It like it popped up on social media, and everybody depressed. How do you know it? I have never told anybody. I done been through the most. Like
But you never.
that's another, like I said, that's another combo, man. This just a simple podcast. Like this another combo. I done been through the most when it comes. I've never used that terminology to depress, man. It's in your mind. Like you just gotta push yourself. So, you know, like I said, my advice to anybody who trying to start their fitness journey, man, just keep going. When you stop, that makes it worse because you gotta turn around and restart.
Yeah. What if the people are looking forward to using you as a fitness trainer? Where can they reach you?
Man, just follow me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram. Rob T the Great 20. That's ROB letter T DA Great 20. And my number is 615-772-6901. You can text me or you can shoot me a message on Instagram, and I'll most definitely see if I can help you with whatever needs you need when it comes to starting your fitness journey.
Gotcha. And I see you got your gear on, man.
Yes,
So you
sir.
ready to purchase that?
So the information I just gave you, reach out to me. I do have a website up right now. I did like a little soft order for my gear. Pretty much passed out a few things, sold a few things, but my big order is coming in probably about the second week of March. And then, if you follow me on my Instagram, I will be posting, and I'll drop the link when everything is actually ready. Gloves, hoodies, sleeveless hoodies, gym bags, T-shirts, fitness suits for the women, and just more to come.
Oh no, gotcha. In the future goals together?
Most definitely, starting my own gym. Most definitely starting my own gym. I've always been so. In the beginning, it was always gym and security. But like I said, I started working with the juveniles, fell in love with it, and I pretty much put this to the side. I really feel like I'm behind. Like I've been training on and off for years, man, about 10 years, And honestly, I was discouraged because a lot of people wouldn't take it serious. And I kept telling myself, like, ain't no way I'm trying to make a living with training. Like, it fluctuates too much, you know what I'm saying? And it done got discouraging recently. Like I told you, back in the summer, I had 8, 9 clients. Within a month or two, it dropped down to 2. And in my head, I'm like, man, I'm finna get back on the road and drive trucks. Man, forget this. But then I was like, no, because I previously put this to the side for a career that I'm no longer in. That ended in I got the short end of the stick with the juveniles. So that really that opened me up too. What I went through, the blood, sweat, and tears, man, I did in that field for 8 years. 6, 7 days, 12 plus hours. You know that, man. You work there now. Man, spend the night at facilities, man, traveling, helping other facilities. The way that ended with me, man, it really sparked me to like, yeah, I gotta be my own business owner because, the energy I put in to corporate America, man, if I put the energy in and time to myself, man, it's I'll be a beast. You feel me? Because like I real deal like rock that thing out for 8 years, like barely having vacation, like barely having off day. Would even if I did, even if I did come to work one day, still with an off day with the phone to stop us blowing up. You feel me?
Especially if you're in the supervisor level.
Right.
Saying they running stuff.
Yeah. So, but yeah, like that. They're really the past couple years, man. I've been at my lowest, and that most definitely opened me up with the little situation that I
Would you like to touch on?
yeah. So, back in March of 2022, um, I was assistant director running Walnut Academy, the group home over there off of Stewart's Ferris Pike. We had 4 youth they beat up a supervisor. They took his car keys and took the keys to get out the building. Had to fob. So they was able to fob out the gate, steal his car, and once again, I actually was there. That field is short. It's a very short field. So I was there. I ran shift. It was Saturday, Sunday, one of them, but I had been there 16. I've been there since 5 in the morning, man. I had to run both shifts, man. We was dead short. Like, I'm big on that. I'm a supporter. I'm a leader. Like, if my people short, I wasn't never an office person. Like, I'm finna get in the water with you. So I ran both shifts. Man, it was towards the end of the shift, actually, probably about an hour out. We getting paperwork together. We down at the admin, and I hear a cold call. And I'm like, we trying to go outside and see what's going on. The cold call was clear. But once I finally saw what's going on, I'm seeing kids coming out the gate, jumping in the car. Like, what the? Bruh,
Out of the car.
it was like, man, hold on, am I tripping? So you know me, I'm in my Superman mode. I'm running after the car. I was running towards the car before they drove off, but I didn't make it in time. I didn't mention the part that I had just had a knee surgery. What I'm saying? I ain't even all the way clear. You feel me? I feel like if it wasn't for that, I probably could have caught one of them trying to get in the back seat. So boom, they pulled off. I started running back towards the admin building. I have a radio. I'm telling the staff on the inside, "Hey, bring my backpack." My backpack had my keys in it. So she met me at the gate. I jumped in the car. The one that called the code, she up over there by Walnut, it's like a little maze up in there. So she was like, "Hey, they going in circles. They must be lost. They didn't know how to get out." So when I jumped in my car, I'm like, "Okay, I'm finna block them." But by that time, they ended up finding a way out. They went way down there by the mental health facility on the other side. So you know how I'm thinking. I'm like, okay, they going down there. I'm finna cut them off. So once I made it down to the stop sign, they shot past me. I'm like, God. So I got behind them in an attempt to keep my eyes on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, man, them kids was, you to play GTA, bruh. Like you hear kids talk about it all the time. They give these stories about when they steal cars and I'm like, man, y'all was just talking. But that night, they proved me wrong. I was like, man, these kids real deal be out here. I was talking about brother.
Right.
It was wild. Like, man, my car was beating fast. I'm like, man, I'm not finna flip my car for these kids. So making a long story short, I was attempting to keep eyesight on it. And I was trying to use my phone, trying to call. I'm like, man, I can't keep eyesight on it and try to use the phone. So I called the staff and like, hey, call the police, tell them this is the direction we going. Once the kids finally realized I was behind them, man, bro, we had went about 10 miles down the interstate going towards Knoxville. Once they realized I was behind them, man, they got throwing stuff out the car. I'm like this, I'm swerving, I'm trying to duck, bro. I feel like I was in the video game. Like they trying to make me
somebody can still drive.
Man, they was trying. Once I felt they realized that it was me behind. Like, okay, man, this car's still behind us. Every time they switch, I switch. You feel what I'm saying? But they still got a distance on. You feel what I'm saying? So they got throwing stuff. I'm ducking. I'm dodging, man. So they ended up taking this exit. By that time, they left me. Once they took it, because what it was like two cars right there, and it was a stop sign. They shot past them cars. So it's like, damn, I'm behind this car. So let me go around. But by that time, man, they ended up going around a curve, man, and lost control. And that curve got a nickname, whatever it was. I remember the police saying whatever that curve nickname was, but I came around it too fast too, but I was able to control it. So when I saw the car flip, because it hit a fence and almost hit the people's house. So the first thing I thought, I'm like, yeah, they hurt. So I jumped out the car and I grabbed my phone. I'm like, I'm finna call the ambulance, bro. I promise you, it messed my head up. Man, them kids were crawling off on the car. I'm like, these they not hurting, bro. So all four of them crawling out the car. I'm like, oh man, here we go again, foot chase. So I done started running, man. That time I was thinking, I'm like, first of all, I always keep my protection, man. These kids are dangerous. The car they stole, I don't know if that staff had a weapon or anything. Yeah. So I did have my protection with me. When I started chasing them in my head, I'm like, I'm close. All four of them right here, they running towards the backyard. Like it was dark as hell, wooded. I don't know what I'm running into. I'm by myself. So I shoot a warning shot in the air. I'm saying if I shoot this shot, hopefully they'll stop. Shoot. Three on one did stop. I caught one. Yeah. He fell to the ground. So in my head, when you hear gunshots, people fall down. You know what I'm saying? So I shot a warning shot in the air and he stopped. He stopped. I caught him. The other three kept running. So by that time I caught him, was able to apprehend him, not the neighbors, the people house that they almost hit. I see those people out the window. I'm waving like, I need y'all assistance. What y'all peeping for? You feel me? So the man finally came out. I done had a full-blown conversation. We this close. Right. Then his wife hollered at him. She was like, you get back in here, y'all. It was just a crazy situation. But long story short, the police ended up coming. I caught one. They ended up catching two. They caught one like a few days later. But it flipped on me. The people of the house had like a ring cam. So I guess I don't know. The police asked to like, do y'all got any footage? So bro, when I tell you like it just threw me off when they came out. I was like, man, we saw a flash, look like a bang. Do you have a weapon? So in my head, I'm like, bro, these kids just beat the hell out of my supervisor and escaped the facility. And y'all worry about did I have a weapon? Right. In my head, is anybody hurt? Is any kid shot? If you saw the camera, you saw a shot in the air. Because one of the officers mentioned that the kid said I shot him. But you looking at the camera and you see me pointing in the air. So, bro, honestly, like, I probably made it hard on myself, but, like, I'm a man, so, whatever decision I make, I'm going to deal with it. But I lied. No, I ain't got no gun. Well, we're gonna talk. Well, you do what you gotta do. I'm gonna make you do your job because what these kids just did is like you forgot about. But you trying to flip the tables on me. Like, come on, man. For real, like that's what's wrong now. That's why it's gonna get ugly with these kids if they don't crack down on these consequences. But yeah, I lied to them. So they ended up searching my car. They searched my car 3 or 4 times. They couldn't find it. They had to tow it in order to get to where it was. So man, 2 months later, 2 months later, man, I got a call from that detective, and they indicted me. They indicted me. I don't know if he thought I was gonna try to run from it or what, because he wanted me to beat him. Like, I'm not beating you. What do you want? So when he told me what he wanted, I want to turn myself in. It's game time. I'm finna fight it. So man, I fought that case for almost 2 years. I fought it all the way up. I was going to trial, man. Like I was real deal. Like man, y'all gonna have to see me. I feel like nowadays we don't fight enough, but there was in Wilson County. So it was like playing Russian roulette. Our color is not kind down there. Yeah. So I fought that almost up to like 2 years, man. I want to say like 3 or 4 days before the trial, they came back with another offer. Man, I just prayed to God, and the spirit I just took that offer. I wasn't taking no charges against the kids because they had me with an aggravated assault with a deadly weapon because the kid said I shot at him. But y'all see on the camera that I did. So man, they ended up throwing that out. But I pleaded guilty to the reckless endangerment because the car almost hit the house that I owned. You know what I'm saying? So I did that. 2-year probation, still on it. I'll be off in November. But like it's one of them things, man. Like I said, the spirit. I pray to God, the spirit just told me to run with it. Bro. I did not want to go. I wanted to, but I got to thinking like, man, I got to let this pride go because I was on some stuff like, no, I'm finna fight it. But I feel like, man, if I would have went to trial and they would have found me guilty, what I look like going to prison for this type of situation? That would have been a crazy situation. Though. Yeah, saying like that was probably what's gonna happen. Yeah, that was right, right and wrong. And let me tell you why. Another reason why I actually made that decision, and I'm thankful that I did because the DA still wouldn't come up with an agreement with my lawyer. Like we turned down like 3 offers, bro. they still went. So when they didn't come up with agreement, I did a sentence trial. I still played Russian roulette because now the judge get to make the decision. Once he hear both sides, he still could have sent me to prison. So I didn't know what he was gonna give me, but he gave me 2 year probation. But what really bothered me, and I still respect that judge because he took some notes down. Because when he came back out after the little recess, he came back out and he broke it down. He like weighed the pros both sides of the story. But what I didn't like was I think he made his not I think he made his decision based off my history. Like they dug deep, bro. I'm talking about I was reminded of some charges that I couldn't even remember. They went back to some charges all the way back from college. So in my head, I'm like, man, these charges 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 years ago. So you telling me like you made your decision based off that old record? Like that was one of the reasons why I took that opportunity, man, to come to Nashville. Like I came to Nashville, I'm on a clean slate. You know what I'm saying? I was reckless then. I was a high head then. I'm talking about 9, 10, 11. It was a lot of charges. I ain't even gonna lie. I had about 12 charges. So, but none of them was felony. Yeah, they tried to paint their picture. None of them was felony charges. It was most definitely a lot of misdemeanors I had in 2 different counties in Arkansas between college and just adult years. So that's the only thing I didn't like about that. But I told myself, what if I did fight that and they found me guilty and they would have dug deep because they gonna do it regardless. When it come to your sentencing, they sentence you based off the situation and also based off previous history. So I feel like, man, if I would have lost that trial and then they pulled my Arkansas record, oh yeah, I was going to prison. You know what I'm saying? So it is what it is. It ain't stopping nothing. I feel like, man, the system ain't for us because with this charge and probation, man, you can only imagine how many jobs I'd have been turned down. In my head, like, man, I got this charge. Man, I got 2 degrees. I got almost 10 years of leadership experience. You turning me down? So a lot of this like really pushed me for the entrepreneur. You feel what I'm saying? Like, but like I said, I was like, you got certain jobs that'll work with you. It's one of those things you just gotta humble yourself. Might not be where you want to work, but it's a start. You feel what I'm saying? So other than that, man, it's all good. But when you speak on goals, most definitely a gym, security wise, if I always want to do security. That's a delay right now. I'm not giving up on that because even with that charge, they won't even approve me to get my own license to even start a security company. So it's one of those things that, right now I'm working on figuring out once I get done. That's another way why the system is so screwed, man. You can do your sentencing, you can do your time, probation, or whatever it is, and then when you get done, based off the charge, you got to wait 5, 7 years to get expunged. It's crazy, you know what I'm saying? But mark my words on this podcast. I promise you, I'm not waiting no 5, 7 years. I bet you I get this charge off, and then I'm gonna start my security company. Everything is about manifesting, and you got to believe what you say, and I most definitely stand on it. I'm gonna show them that I can tell.
I heard that, man. All right, with that being said, man, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity, bro. We go ways back.
Yes, sir.
It's like, seeing you in this form is great, bro. You doing your own thing. You be off November. I know you're gonna be handling that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Keep perseverance, bro. You got a lot of perseverance in, man. So I appreciate you coming by, giving us your life story, bro, your future goals going ahead.
Yes, sir.
And if, like you said, we're gonna post everything on his website where you can get gear from. If you guys want to work out, it's February. It ain't too late, so he's accepting new clients, so we'll get y'all in there as well. So we have all that posted as well. Thanks for watching Live KB Podcast. Check us out next time.